Hey you guys, today has been quite eventful. We are so terribly sorry about all the connection issues, but please do understand that these things happen, okay? For like our past three sessions, there have been some technical difficulties, but it's all good. We will hopefully get recorded versions of the classes to you, and next week will definitely be much better. We do have another session coming up, but before we do that, is there anything you guys would like to say? Okay, 3 minutes more. Awesome. So I see you guys are excited. Do you guys have anything you want to share? We have 3 minutes more. So before we start, do you have any questions for me? Any questions for Codarina as well? If you do, that would be great. You can ask it now. I hope people are going to join. Sorry once again for the technical difficulties. In the meantime, while you guys hopefully put something in the comment section, we are about to have a super awesome session. Okay, I'm sure some of you guys have heard about artificial intelligence, AI, AI. Everybody is just rolling off everyone's tongues. AI. What is AI? What is it all about? Well, if you go on YouTube and you watch like a particular video, YouTube will literally suggest other videos related to that video you watched based on artificial intelligence. Computers these days are teachable. They can learn, they can act like humans. If you're on Instagram, your Instagram feed is programmed and works based on artificial intelligence. So Instagram knows what you like, and Instagram provides or updates your feed based on what you like. There's so many examples of artificial intelligence these days, and it's almost in everything we do. When you use Google Assist or Siri or all those voice assistants on your phone or your mobile phones, it is all artificial intelligence. Today, we're going to be focusing on a specific part of AI, which is machine learning. Is such an awesome aspect of it. I mean, you can literally teach a computer 100 years ago, I don't think anybody would have thought that would be possible. But today, it is so possible to teach a computer to do specific things. I don't want to say too much because I'm not the instructor for today. But Mr. Majek, Rajesh, I'm so sorry. Mr. Rajesh Gupta is going to be handling the session on machine learning and artificial intelligence. He is the pro. He's going to school you. So if you have any questions, please make sure you put it in the comment section. If you didn't know anything about AI before today, you're about to know everything you need to know about machine learning. I trust Rajesh, and Rajesh, they are in your hands. So please do your thing and school these guys. Have fun, you guys.
Sure. Thank you very much, Victory. You already set a very good background, so not much left for me. Okay, so hi everyone. Let me know if I'm audible, clear, and loud. Okay, great. So let's just start. So today we are going to talk about what is AI, what is machine learning, and I will give you a brief background when AI started and where we are, and some of the very, very useful current use cases in this today's session. So, a little bit about me. So, my name is Rajesh Gupta. By education, I did my master's in science, master in statistics, and then PhD in statistics. Working in industry from last 12 years, and I work for different organization including Ford Motor Company, Tata Consultancy Services, and different pharmaceutical organization including GSK, Pfizer, etc. And I also worked as a assistant professor at Lucknow University. Okay, cool. So what you will learn today. So we'll talk about little bit why AI means what is AI, why we are learning, why we are spending too much of time, why everyone is paying too much of attention of AI, how it is affecting to our life, how it is involved in our society. So we'll talk about that. And then little bit history about the AI, when AI started, over the period of time, how it grown, and today where we are. And what is AI? This is very, very important to learn and understand what exactly AI means. So, and then what are the skill sets will be required to learn. So that also very very important. I saw that few of the lectures you are already going through with like Python and design thinking and what is intelligence, emotional intelligence. So everything is important and to know to better understanding. And then we'll talk about little bit what is data, different types of data, how you can clean your data, what are the problems that generally people face while working in AI, and how you can tackle that. Different type of data means structured data, unstructured data, how to handle unstructured data. So we'll talk a brief intro about that. And then types of AI, the different types of AI we'll talk about, and tools of AI. Within AI, we have machine learning, data science, and within machine learning, we have so many different algorithms like supervised machine learning, unsupervised machine learning, reinforcement learning. So we will touch each part a brief introduction in this today's session. And then some very very exciting and cool use cases we will discuss how we can implement that, how it working, how people are getting benefited from these use cases. Okay, so why AI? So you have probably seen news articles that how much value AI is uh, creating. So according to McKinsey, I guess you guys are already aware. McKinsey is a global consulting firm, and they do research. So they come under big three consulting firm: McKinsey, Boston Consulting Firm, and Bain Consulting. So McKinsey is one of the very great or number one consulting firm, and they do research. So according to McKinsey, AI is estimated to create additional 13 trillion US dollar of value annually by the year of 2030. And AI is in each and every field you can think of. So a lot of AI use in retail and travel, in transport and logistic. Though most of the people think that AI is only part of software companies, tech companies like Google, Microsoft, they are using, but actually AI is used, and AI is extensively used in other companies also, including agriculture, including automobile, including typical manufacturing company, even in film industry also, in social media, a lot of AI people are using. So AI is changing the way we work and live, and in the future AI is going to be everywhere. So in this course we will just learn how AI is affecting our life. Please ping, I can see your chat, so if you have any questions, any doubt, you can type in your chat window. I will be able to see it, and then I'll try my best to answer your questions. And if I'm going very fast or going very slow, that also you can ping. I will be able to see your chat. Okay, so why we are talking about AI, and why we are talking about AI now? That is very very important. So the first reason is amount of data. So you might have heard about this term, big data. So from last 15 to 20 year, everyone is talking about big data storage, and but what exactly big data is? So data means I'll talk about what exactly is data, but just to start, big data is when you have a huge amount of data and you don't know what to do. It is stored already, and now you have a lot of big uh, very good and sophisticated algorithm that can help you to analyze those data and extract the meaningful information from that data. And we are collecting big data from so many sources like social media. So social media, like I'm sure that all of you are using Facebook. So you know how many accounts, how many users are on Facebook? In billions. And every user, every profile, like I am also on Facebook. If I am going somewhere, or if any good event or anything is happening, I just click picture and upload on Facebook. So imagine 20 billion people. 20 billion is just a hypothetical or imaginary number I am giving you. Maybe more or maybe less. So, and everyone is uploading pictures, hundreds and thousands of pictures. So just think how much data Facebook is store and how they can handle all those things. So big thanks to new computation development, storage power, storage capacity, thanks to CPU and GPU, all the big companies, they are working, they are doing research how to store data in a well-mannered way. And also we have better algorithms to analyze those data. uh, Another thing is very good investment nowadays. All the new tech companies or big companies, even agriculture, government, small organization, social media, and companies from agriculture and social media, everyone is investing a lot and paying a lot of attention to this AI. Another thing is why all of a sudden is important, become very very important, is when you have less amount of data, you will be able to create a model, but the result of the model may not work very well. But if you have a very very good amount of data and you have a very good algorithm to handle and analyze those data, you will learn a lot and you will be able to uh, perform a very very robust model. So see in this picture, so basically let me get some colors. So then, okay, so in this picture, basically, if initially when we were having less amount of data, so traditional AI ML like simple linear regression model, multiple linear regression model, we use and we get some performance. Over the period of time, we start building some small neural network with little bit more data. So here data is increasing, and then medium neural network, and then large neural network. So when you have a large amount of data and at the same time of a very good and sophisticated uh, model or algorithm that can help you to build a very good model, then you will get a very good performance. Okay. Okay. So then you are not on Facebook. Okay. So you might be using some other social networking, maybe Twitter or maybe some other social networking. If not, then I'm sure in coming year you will join. Okay, so I got a comment from what text Jabdu. I'm sorry, I'm not able to pronounce your name correctly. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about history of artificial intelligence. So, so uh, the AI started long ago. Means started in the sense there was some uh, concept, there was some mythological thinking that people still believe that um, it means ancient age, years ago. We don't know exactly when, but if you just look at the research and Google it, you will get some detail that there was we call it world first robot, Talos. So Talos was the giant animated bronze warrior programmed to guard the Iceland in Europe. Um, and Okay. Yeah, well, the CF media. Okay. Okay. So this was but these were the just concept. We still don't know when and how it worked. So on the internet, you will get lot of details. So to just educate you guys, I just put here the link also if you are interested to know more what exactly they were doing initially. So coming back to 1950 to 1955, this was a kind of turning year for the AI development, when a very famous mathematician or scientist, Alan Turing, he published a very good paper, landmark paper, and he first time he talked about can machine think. So initially he got a lot of comments and some good, some bad, but he continue keep going and keep doing research. And then later on, 1952, the very good scientist Samuel Arthur, he developed a checker playing computer program, the first uh, programmed to learn game independently. Alan Turing also given a test, Turing test. So Turing test is basically anything that any machine or any algorithm you develop and that behave exactly like a human. So you can, like for example, if you have a machine and you are asking to do some task from the machine, and you are not able to distinguish which task has machine done and which task are human does, means the machine is exactly doing the same as human people do, then it that particular algorithm will pass Turing test. Unfortunately, even till date, no system or no machine has completely passed the Turing test. So it's still a lot of scope for you guys. Okay, so coming back to 1956 to 1960, this is a very critical year because the first time artificial intelligence term come in picture. John McCarthy, he coined the term artificial intelligence during an academic conference and talk about the further development and what we can do. uh, at that time, it was a kind of imagination with some science fiction or some logic, but later on, over the period of time, it developed a lot. And today, you know where we are in AI. So, in 1958, McCarthy he developed a Lisp, a most popular and is still uh, most popular and is still very favored programming language for AI research. And in 1959, Samuel coined the term machine learning. So in 1956 to 1960, those 5 years were very critical because we got both the term artificial intelligence and machine learning first time. And then people start talking about and continuous research work and new algorithm development keep going on at the time. Coming back to 1961 to 1990, so here now you might have observed, see, initially I was taking 5 year interval. Now how I'm jumping from 1961 to 1990. So because in this duration I cannot cover it every year what is happening, but I just noted down or listed down here the key initiative or key invention that happened. But over the period of time, the different algorithm, different concepts, and different machines, different softwares has been developed. So in 1960, the Unimate became the first robot used by General Motors. So robot is basically nowadays in each and every manufacturing, especially if I talk about the automotive industries. Currently, where currently I'm working with Ford Motor Company, and in our plants we have robots. They are doing their job. But when first time it happens, so General Motors is another automotive company, the Unimate, they developed a robot called Unimate, and that was working in their assembly line. And another very key development or key innovation is Eliza, the first chatbot. So nowadays, you know that we have Siri, we have um, Google Assistant, we have Alexa. But when first time chatbot started, chatbot means you can ask questions or you can just type something and computer will reply you without any manual intervention. So Eliza is basically they develop a chatbot and it can converse your language and reply for a certain thing. It was not that advanced as today we have Siri and Eliza, but it was a very good invention at the time. Then coming to 1990 to present, in 1997, Deep Blue comes in picture, and you might be knowing Gary Kasparov. He is the world champion chess player, and Deep Blue beats the Kasparov in 1997, first time. And then later on, a lot of invention has been developed, like Sony introduced Ivo, a toy robot. And then there is a company called iRobot, and they uh, develop or launch the vacuum cleaner. So they develop a robot, the vacuum cleaner, a kind of thing, and it will automatically run um, and automatically run and clean your house. And then 2011, um, Apple released Siri. So maybe you guys are already using the iPhone, so you are aware with Siri. Even if you're not using it, still you might be aware. It's a very very famous and kind of first innovation, first very advanced innovation. We have Eliza long back, but first time when people start using, common people start using Eliza, that was uh, very few people, only researchers or only very very means well educated people were using, because at the time it was not easy to afford a computer, it was not easy for a common people to use. Now everyone is using, everyone has iPhone or everyone has some smartphone to interact. And then 2014, then Microsoft launches Cortana. So Siri launches in 2011, Microsoft Cortana in 2014, and in 2014 only Amazon launches Alexa. Okay. Okay, so we are talking about artificial intelligence. So what is artificial intelligence? Before jumping to artificial intelligence, just understand what is intelligence. So intelligence is basically ability to interact with world, like speech, vision, motion, manipulation, and ability to use reason and logic, ability to learn and adopt. So like for example, when you were a kid, you don't know how to walk, you don't know how to drink water, you observe people, you see the people how they are doing, your parents, your elders taught you how to drink water, how to eat, how to walk, how to wear clothes. So everything you learn over the period of time. Few things that you learn automatically, you saw other people, you saw your parents are doing, you learn quickly and implemented in your life. So that is basically nothing but intelligence. Now, what is artificial intelligence? So, the power of machine to copy intelligent human behavior. So, we know that intelligence is uh, observe others and then implement in your own life. But what about computer? Computer cannot automatically observe other. So, we have to make a machine, we have to make a computer as intelligent as a human. That is basically, in a very, very layman language, that is artificial intelligence. The basic and key definition that um, um, McCarthy has given science and engineering of making intelligent machine, especially intelligent computer program, is artificial intelligence. Okay. Okay. Modeling human thinking, acting, should think, should act is artificial intelligence. So basically, if you can, the overall objective is if you can replicate machine to do same like human do is artificial intelligence in a very very easy language. And this is, artificial intelligence is not the only to just replicate human, while to solve our problem, our ongoing problem, to look at the data, analyze data, and quickly give some answer that we can use as a decision, and that help you to grow your company. The decisions will help you to live a better life. So mm, many of you might be knowing or heard about this first advanced robot, Sophia. So I think in 2016 or 17, first time Sophia news come in picture. And this is the picture when she was giving lecture on environmental science in Europe. And she traveled the world, means she traveled to Europe, US, UK. She visited India as well. So a lot of hype. So people were too much of interested who is Sophia and how it builds. First time, uh, very very similar to human. Even the design, everything, including clothes like a human. Another example is artificial example is robots. So assembly line, as we talk about, first time in 1961, General Motor used the robot, and now almost all automotive organization is using robots. So earlier it was too hard that people used to do a big work, means like if they are dealing with heavy machinery, lifting the machine from one place to another place, moving from one place to another place, it was quite risky also. Now all the risky work are, means in big manufacturing organizations, are has been done by the robots, so they are doing all those work. So it's not only risk but is also very efficient, very fast. So one example I can give is in Ford, in our organization, uh, we are developing one car, one 150 car in only in 1 minute. So there are definitely a lot of stages is has to go, but final assembly and everything, overall calculation is 1 minute, one car ready. So it sounds like very amazing how it can happen, but with the help of robots, uh, Ford Motor Company and other companies are also doing. Then nowadays, lot of hype about the autonomous vehicle. Autonomous vehicle means, right, means you just sit in the vehicle and vehicle you give restriction or command to your car that where you want to go. Car will listen your voice and accordingly it will drive and drop you. So still it is not implemented. There's still a lot of research and innovation, lot of discussion going on. But yeah, we are in very advanced stage, and hoping in couple of year it will be a reality. Lot of testing, lot of big companies including Google are also involved. Google has Waymo. They are developing autonomous vehicle. A very big autonomous automobile companies, Tesla, right now, I mean, they are in very advanced stage. All their vehicle are electric vehicle. They don't use any gasoline vehicle. And you can see a big screen in their system. So very advanced features overall. And uh, one feature that already it is means already implemented, that the common sense, like in most of the vehicle, is intelligent enough to understand how to park. So like in parking, you just give that option and your vehicle will park your vehicle automatically with very less effort. Another very cool area is medicine. So you might have hearing that news that robots are doing surgery. Okay, so lot of things here that you are seeing the robot, and robots are doing lot of job in manufacturing, in medicine, in surgery. So now the question comes in mind whether AI and robot are same thing. So exactly it is not. So there is a basic difference. We use AI to develop robot. That is the basic difference. So AI is basically programmed to learn. We program, and then over the period of time, your AI system will learn from the data. It will observe and learn quickly. And robot is programmed to do some specific job. Like we developed a robot to do work at assembly line, to pull heavy vehicle from one place to another place. Then robot is comes. So basically, for a specific task, we develop the robots. And AI can do the social interaction. Robot is very less as of now. There is a area, means it is still in evolving and developing, but as of now, no. It learn, like we talk. It learn from the data. It learn from the past history and the behavior of the data and act accordingly. And robot is as smart as you program. AI in our life. So you might be aware about Twitter. So Twitter is using machine learning to crop photos to the most interesting part. And not only photos, in fact, Twitter is screening any videos or any picture you upload on Twitter. Like for example, nowadays a lot of things are going on about hate speech. People give some hate speech. So Twitter is automatic. They have implemented a very sophisticated and very advanced algorithm to track that kind of videos and eliminate automatically. within couple of minute time. So hate speech or any fraud videos, any manipulated videos that it can exclude to help the society. Another thing is navigation. So Google means we use Google. Google is also using AI for the navigation purpose to go from one place to another place. They are using artificial neural networks and machine learning. Smart speakers like Alexa and Google and Siri, so that's a very common. We most of the people are using. Social media is a big user of AI, and they right now they have a maximum data also. Like I give an example of Facebook, how much data they are storing. Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn is basically for professional networking. So Facebook is for your personal networking, friends and family. You connect and share your videos, share your if in any event, share your happiness, sadness. And LinkedIn is basically for all professional networking. They are also using AI and machine learning. YouTube, like right now we are using YouTube. So YouTube is completely programmed with Python. Background is everything is Python. And they are also using recommendation system. So like if you watch any specific type of video, like for example if you are watching comedy movies again and again, so then after some time program will learn your search behavior and it will recommend all the comedy movies to you. Or you are listening any specific type of song like classical song or rock star or some kind of music, or you're fan of any specific singer and you're typing, for example if you're fan of Michael Jackson, you are trying to find out all Michael Jackson dance, and you are searching again and again. So after some time YouTube will keep suggesting you based on your search history, based on your like and dislike. Smartwatches uses machine learning. And Amazon like uh, e-commerce companies, not only Amazon, eBay, and uh, Alibaba, Chinese e-commerce company Alibaba. So they are using machine learning to develop a recommendation system. So you might have observed that in the if you go on the Amazon.com and if you buy one type of item, for example you are looking a nice trendy shirt, so based on your search it will suggest more options to you, and then you will look at, you will hover, and based on your like and dislike you can select it. And for example if you select something and you keep it in your cart, you have not yet purchased, it will give you a reminder also that you look at these type of item but not yet purchased. So they are also using artificial intelligence to develop a very advanced recommendation system. Another very good example is, or key example in fact, Google. So it's a search engine, and um, if you type anything on Google it will give you option. So if you just start a Google search, it will give you Google search history, Google search, or Google search trend, Google search by image. Anything you type like artificial intelligence, it will give you options and then you select. So you might have thought how it is working. So they are also using artificial intelligence. It's a combination of machine learning and text mining, neural net means natural language processing, and then developed a model and implemented. They also track your from where you are logged in. Like for example, you are in Africa, what is your age group, what is your gender, and accordingly they suggest what to look at. Another good example is Stitch Fix. So it's a startup company here in US. So based on your choice, means you give your preferences, like this is my age, this is my preference, this is my body size, I am tall, I am short heighted, I love new type of trend, or I am old type of people, what exactly you like. So they will ask a bunch of questions, and you have to answer all those questions, and based on your question pattern they will suggest clothes for you. So this is very innovative, and it started, I think, in sometime in 2008. And at that time, it was a very, very small company. And now more than 6,000 employees are working, and out of 6,000, half of the people are data scientists or AI researcher. And they are doing a very great job, very good publications available online, and their recommendation system is very, very strong. And then a smart TV phone, everyone is aware that how it works. So few more examples. So IBM Watson, you might have heard that IBM Watson defeat a top player in Jeopardy. So it's a basically question answer session that happened in 2011, and IBM Watson beat a top player in Jeopardy. So it's automatically you ask questions, it will answer very, very quickly. And Google Go, AlphaGo, basically it's a Google product that they have developed using the deep learning algorithm and successfully defeat top player in the game of Go. So game is Go is another game, sim not, I won't say it's a very same like chess, but kind of in a similar pattern and more tough. Like chess is comparatively easy compared to Go. It's more complex game. So they developed algorithm too, and it beat successfully. Okay. Okay. So another thing is another example is factory of the future. So now AI is evolving everywhere. So manufacturing companies are also using a lot, and they are basically uh, modifying their entire system. They are moving from manual interventions to completely automated. So basically, they are automating everything. Everything means the quality and even predictive machine analytics to predict. So like in this picture you can say that how it helps in the supply chain. It look at your inventory label and automatically it will show the number, like how many parts is available, how many parts are about to end. So you will get that information, and then accordingly you can plan your supply chain. It will also look at your machine health also, like, so for example you are using a lot of robots. So how robots are, this is the robot, so you need to make sure that your robots is working fine. I mean, over the period of time it can deteriorate, the quality can go down. So how you can measure, because if you're not doing that, all of a sudden if it is a start working, you will lose lot of money and your production will suddenly stop. So machine health condition that we call it, we capture the sensor data. So basically in each machine they have installed a sensor, and that sensor is providing data to us, and we are analyzing a live sensor data and giving input based on the different feature like machine temperature, machine pressure. This machine may fail in near future in a one week time or 1 month time, so please take necessary action to replace it or to repair it before it failed. That is called predictive machine analytics. We predict when this machine is going to be fail in future. And since this machine is developing some parts, so it will go through some process, some uh, test machine, some machine like different parts, it is going through some big machine and then coming out. For example, here's one person is inserting some item, and after coming it is the design is changed. So how it is working, so there is a vision machine, a computer vision system they will install at the end of line. End of line means when your product is ready to go for the market, so it will inspect your product visually. And if any defect, like for example you have a cup manufacturing system are pick up. So uh, if any particular cup has some kind of crack or some kind of color problem, so your computer vision system will detect, and it will automatically isolate from separate out from the assembly line, so that you can avoid any faulty or any problematic items to be sold. Okay. Okay, I have some comments. Sorry, I'm late. I was not checking the time. No problem. This session will be recorded, so you can go through. And if you have any questions, reach out to me, reach out to Katerina, and we will work with you guys. And the algorithm of the YouTube is messes up a lot. Yeah, messes a lot. Okay. It depends how you are searching. So, and it's algorithm, so sometime algorithm work very well, sometime it did not give, you can confuse the algorithm also. And another question says, those vehicle although helpful are capable of causing lot of damage if not property. Yeah, so it's still that is uh, in process. Is still the autonomous vehicles are not completely developed, is still ongoing, and evolvement research is going on. Okay, so I'll give you a few more example, real life example that I got chance to work and I learned few things. So like predicting vehicle issues in advance based on connected car data. So nowadays, each and every vehicle, at least around 70 to 80% vehicle are well connected. Well connected means all the manufacturer, they have installed a sensor in each and every part of your vehicle, a sensor. So while driving, if suppose if you're driving on highway or freeway and your vehicle has some issue, for example, your brake is not working properly, or your engine has some problem, and or for example your air condition system is not working properly, or maybe you might be facing some uh, air pressure in your tire air pressure is low. So that kind of event, how we can instantly lively we can capture, build model to analyze and provide the feedback to our customer. So we build a machine learning algorithm to detect those kind of problem based on the feature we collect with the help of some telecom company. So how it work is, your car is uh, attached, means your car will emit uh, a DTC, we call a specific scientific term, DTC we call it, that means diagnostic travel code. And with the help of telecom company, we collect a snapshot of your vehicle. Like for example, you're driving on highway and your tire pressure is low, or some problem in engine. So at that time when that particular event happen, we will get a snapshot of your vehicle. A snapshot means all the features from your vehicle, means what is your battery voltage, what is your battery temperature, whether engine oil is perfectly fine or it is less, or air condition is working fine or not. So we capture all those information, and you might be not knowing that we capture all those information. Definitely, when you are buying a new machine, we provide all those information that if you want, then only we will be doing. We cannot do anything against customer wish. So if customer is giving that option, okay, they are okay to receive that kind of intelligence, so we will take that and work. So we build um, machine learning algorithm to predict when your vehicle battery is going to be fail. And we also track the location parameter where you drive. Like for example, if you live in any cold place, like for example Canada, or in US you live in Michigan, so here it is cold place compared to hot place, like maybe in Africa, maybe in India it's very hot, and in US like in Texas. So location is very very important, and temperature, ambient temperature is also very important. So we capture all those information then, and then build a very sophisticated model to predict when your vehicle a specific part is going to be failed in advance. Another example is identifying warranty fraud. So this is also a very common problem for all manufacturer. They develop a machine, and so many people, especially dealers, sometimes it's genuine, but sometimes it is not genuine. But they claim that this warranty, they need some warranty amount because they are facing that problem. So how automatically we can develop a model to identify whether that warranty is valid or not valid. Optimizing inventory level, this is very important for retail industry. Like we uh, almost real time we monitor how much how much inventory we have. And um, so it helps for supply chain. Like for example, if you go to Walmart or any shopping mall, and they have algorithm that seen that any specific item is going to end soon in 1 week or 10 days or maybe in a 1 day time. So then they will get a message that fill that particular rack because that item is going to be end. In marketing, identifying highly active, yeah. So this is also very very key uh, key algorithm basically to um, observe people behavior. Like for example, if you are coming on Google and trying to find out some specific items, or for example, um, there was a project I was involved when I was working for General Electric. So people come on General Electric website and look for a specific part. So like if you are looking for gas turbine related some issue, and then you are navigating from one page to another page. So we track all of your activity, how you are navigating from one page to another page, what are the things you are looking at, you are downloading any specific picture of the gas turbine, or you are watching any videos. So it gives a confidence that how much serious you are for that particular project. So we build a model and observe your behavior on the website, and then we share our result to marketing team, and marketing team can connect to you to market some of the product. So, and it is very common even in e-commerce website also. Like if you search something, like if you go on the amazon.com, you look at some specific mobile or some specific type of camera, you will observe, if your Amazon is linked with your email ID, you will observe that within a day you will receive a email with some new model, some new thing. So it's basically part of aggressive marketing. Then market intelligence. So market intelligence is basically find out where is the demand. So this is also a very good project that I was involved and I was working. And in fact, this project was for Africa. So we were trying to find out where is the power required. So my first boss in GE, she was from Nigeria. Her name was Kemi. So we built an algorithm to find out in Africa where we have a power crunch, where we have a power related problem. So we, with the help of Google, we go to Nigeria websites, Nigeria government blogs or government articles. We read, okay, in this specific field people are talking about the power cut or problem. So many so many politicians are talking and planning that we need power of that much of megawatt or that in that particular area. So we get some insight, some intelligence, where is the need, and then marketing team connect with the people and market their product. Understanding language. So you might have heard about Google Translator. So nowadays it's very easy to commute. You can travel anywhere, and language is not a bar. Google Translator can help you. Even they have developed some device also that will convert language immediately, almost real time. Like for example, if I am going to Italy and people are talking in Italian or some other language. It's hard for me if you don't understand. So, but nowadays it's not a problem. You Because we have devices, we have technology to convert the language in your language, and you can understand quickly. Robotic assistance, we already talked about how robotics are helping for complex surgery also. Steering, this is the example for driverless car. So not only big companies, even you might have heard about Uber and Lyft. So they are developing taxi, driverless taxi. So on your mobile app, whenever you need, you can just request a taxi, and one taxi will come to you, and you just sit, it will drop you. So it's still that is in experiment. There's still a lot of research going on. If you go to California area, whenever you get chance, you will see a lot of driverless vehicles are running on a specific road. So, but hopefully in near future we will be able to see on road actually. Okay, another very good example is JP Morgan Chase Contract Intelligence. So they develop a platform called Coin with the uses of image recognition software and to analyze legal document. So earlier, like for example, if you apply for any loan or apply for any credit card, so their legal team has to check your information and then take decision whether you are eligible to get the loan or not. Now means JP Morgan using this particular algorithm, and that helps to analyze those kind of document very quickly. Within fraction of second they will analyze and give the result you are eligible or not. AI in customer care. So if you nowadays if you call on the customer care, sometimes it's very difficult to distinguish that the voice you are hearing is from some human or from some machine. So lot of things happening in customer care area as well means excuse me. Okay. Okay, now AI controversies. So since AI is growing everywhere in each and every field, so a lot of discussion happening that AI is going to take our jobs. AI is going to make you lazy because you will develop a robot and you will order to your robot to do that task. Go and cook for me a food. Go and switch off that light. So you think that, but actually, there is a mm, I mean, debate on that. It can be a true also for something, some label, and not also. And growing cost. So another thing is people think since we invest lot of money to develop computers with high computing power, so AI systems will be very very expensive. So yes, it was expensive initially, but now it is, since everything is in mass production. So in fact, it will decrease your cost. So it will be means it is just vice versa. So if you're doing so much, like initially, I remember uh, it was too hard for uh, people to buy iPhone when they launched because it was too expensive. But over the period of time, they I mean now it's affordable and people can afford. Robot relationship. So this is the joke about that people are making relationship with the robot. Sometimes they develop the robot and they establish a very good friendship with the robot. They don't need human being. So it's a um, I mean, again, there was one article, one discussion, one blog long time ago, around couple of year back. I saw that in Google has some scientists and they are developing a robot who can play football. So instead of investing time with their own kids, they are training or they are developing a robot to play football. or to play any particular game. So they kind of attach with the robot compared to their own kid. But these are the controversies about the AI. Okay. So to do the AI, what are the things are important? What are the skills are very, very important that you should be knowing, and to become a good researcher, to become a good data scientist, what are the things is required? So first and very, very important is mathematics. Mathematics is core. Everything developed from mathematics. And in mathematics, uh, means if you guys are interested, I'll tell you what exactly is directly related with the data science. Like if in future, or maybe right now, you are dealing with calculus, differential equations, matrix, permutation, combination. So these topics are very, very important if you want to become a good AI researcher. Statistics. So statistics is basically part of mathematics. Earlier it was a part of mathematics. Now it's become a separate domain, separate field. But basically, still we can say it's applied mathematics. So you should be knowing statistics, at least few things. Like hypothesis testing is very much important. Probability is very much important. So okay, this is okay. Mhm. Okay, so statistics are very, very important. So, and then coding, how you will be doing. So, I know that you are going through with Python coding. Uh, to develop any model, you need some kind of language. And right now, Python is very, very favorable. Most of the people, most of the organizations are using Python because it is widely available. Lot of very good libraries available. You will get a lot of help in Python, and it's very, very capable. You can think like entire YouTube is built on Python, and most of the AI algorithm has been built using Python. Another language is R software programming. So it's very common in academics. Like if you go in universities, still people prefer R over Python. R has there is a debate which one we should select, Python or R. So both are equally good. It's based on your personal choice whether you like more Python or you like more R. Both are equally efficient. I personally prefer Python. When I started my career, I was using R, but now I completely moved to Python. In Python, you will have more flexibility, especially when you are dealing with big data. If you have a small set of data, R is still fine. But if you're dealing with big data, Python is very, very efficient and very good, even for small data as well. Another language, PySpark, is also very much in demand, especially again you when you are using with you're dealing with big data, and you want to run any algorithm in parallel. SQL is also very important to extract data from your data lake. So you will learn what is data lake. No worries if you don't understand few terminology, like I'm talking about the data lake, what is data lake and other things. You will learn over the period of time. But SQL is another language, um, very easy. It's just like English. You just give command, okay, if variable equal to this, do that. If you know English and little bit use your logic, you will easily learn SQL. And SQL is important to deal with the data, to especially for the pre-processing work. You can do the pre-processing work in using Python also, but that may slow down your algorithm. So SQL is good, and you can write SQL code in Python also. You can link both together. Okay, so now enough introduction, enough use cases, and you learn what are the skills are important. Now let's learn little bit more in practical way what is data. So data is mainly you can classify in two uh, class. One is the structured data, another is unstructured data. Structured data means anything that you can store in a tabular format is a structured data. Like for example, you have a table, you're dealing with some apartment related data like size of the house and number of bedrooms and what is the price. You here I'm showing only three variables. These are the different variables. You may have hundreds or thousands of variables, and you are trying to find out something meaningful from that data. So anything that you can store in a tabular format means you have row and column, is you can call it as structured data. And here, generally, in most of the cases, you will have A to B mapping, means you will have one dependent variable and so many independent variable, and with so many independent variable, you are trying to predict something. So you're here, for example, here, your size of the house and number of bedroom is your independent variable, and using these independent variable, you are predicting what will be the price of the house. Okay. Unstructured data means image, text, audio. These comes under unstructured data. So anything like all the images are unstructured, uh, and free text are unstructured data. So there is another domain in AI is NLP, natural language processing. You will learn that also. We'll cover later on. That comes under unstructured data. Voice, audio, that also comes under unstructured data. How to acquire data means for you, for example, if you're developing any model, a classification model to identify whether this picture is cat or not cat. I don't know for what reason you are going to do, but let's assume you are doing just for fun. You're developing a model to separate cat versus not cat, and you don't have any information, many means any data. You have just pictures, but which picture is what, you don't have information. So initially you will give some, you will see, and manually you will label it. Okay, this is cat, this is not cat, this is cat, this is not cat. And over the period of time you will store your data, and then you will develop model. Or number two is from observing behavior. So observing behavior means this is machine observing behavior, how your machine is behaving. So you have here machine ID, you have the temperature, you have the pressure information, and everything is in some specific point of time. And then you have some result. Okay, when temperature was 60 and pressure was 7.29 psi, then it means your machine is working fine. But when temperature is jump almost double from 60 to 129, and pressure also increase little bit, then your machine is going to be fail. So this is also A to B mapping. So these are you observe. Or in retail phase, like if someone is uh, going to any retail shop, or a big bazaar type of people, or or Walmart, and buying some item. So from there also you can find out the data and collect that information. Excuse me. Okay, another thing is ready-made data. Like nowadays, and too much of data is available online. You can just download the data based on your interest, based on your use case, whatever you are doing. You can get the data, download the data, and develop your model. So for example, if you want to develop a model sentiment analysis, like for any specific product. So for example, if any any specific product launch recently launched in the market, and people start using, for example, mobile. So you will say people are giving feedback, positive or negative feedback. They will write one line or two line. They will give a smiley, sad smiley or happy smiley. So you can get those type of data and then develop a model and get some insight whether overall people are happy or not. Okay. Okay. So now you might be wondering, if we have image, how we can analyze. So dealing with unstructured data might be different from structured data. So you, since you guys are learning computer science and coding, so you might be aware that computer just see numbers. Computer see and read everything in binary 0 and code. So we convert your image or your text or your audio in some numbers and then develop the model. Okay. So this is very common and important, at least at this stage. Like you will, when you will start your career, initially you will get some data, and most of the time your data will be messy. And if your data is not clean, you are not going to build a good model. So it's a general concept like garbage in, garbage out in computer science. So obviously you have to clean your data, and then work on that. So cleaning the data in your data, many time you will face with missing data or duplicate records or incorrect values or some formatting issues. So you have to resolve with that. And then when you have neat and clean data, then develop some model. And also you will see the multiple types of data, like categorical data, numerical data. So dealing with categorical data is completely different animal. Dealing with time series data is different animal, and for each type of data we should use a different type of algorithm. Ordinal data means when you have order, means order in the sense like low, medium, high, or 1 2 3 categories in order. Panel data is when you have combination of time series and so many other independent variable, then that we call it as a panel data. Use and misuse of the data. So this is also a very common problem, means especially for non-technical people. Like when you will start your career, you will join some organization, and when your boss or your manager is not well aware, they will think, okay, give the data and expect a very good model. That is not going to work. So uh, uh, you have to collect the very very relevant data. For example, suppose you are working on any clinical trial. Clinical trial is a drug development. I'll give more detail about that later on. And your objective is to develop some medicine for children under age 10 years, but you are collecting data from adult people. That is not going to be work out. So based on your problem, you have to decide what data you need. So collect relevant data to build a best model. Okay. So different types of intelligence. So basically right now, there's a broadly two categories of artificial intelligence. One is artificial narrow intelligence, and another is artificial general intelligence. There is another category I have not added here, but another category is artificial super intelligence. So we'll talk about it a little bit. So almost everything whatever currently we are doing, all the speaker, Siri, Alexa, Google search engine, image detection, IoT, and AI application in agriculture, everything comes under artificial narrow intelligence. And artificial general intelligence means do anything a human can do, means you can just replicate. So for example, you have Siri and Alexa. You can ask something, hey Siri, what is the temperature today? Hey Siri's, um, what is the price of this particular product? Siri will give you answer. But if you give order, hey Siri, can you go downstairs and pick that item for me? Siri cannot do, or you don't have robot to do that. So that comes under artificial general intelligence that is still in developing phase. Much has not much development as of now. And artificial super intelligence is a third category that is still um, kind of in planning or in imaginary. Like you can see things when you develop something that surpass the human being, like sci-fi movies. If we talk about sci-fi movies, so many people you might have seen that movie called Matrix or superheroes movies, like Avenger. So they are doing means the imagination power is too much for them. That movie maker, they already thought about that one day we will be having that kind of machine, like the very famous movies transportation, like one robot can become a car based on the requirement and again become a robot and fight for you, and then again it will convert into very super duper type of car and you can sit and drive. So all those things are in pipeline. So AI has many tools, different terminology. Everything comes under AI. So AI is any technique that enable computer to mimic human behavior. That is the very first definition that we got it from great scientist McCarthy. And then machine learning is subset of AI, and deep learning is subset of machine learning, where we kind of develop a multi-layer neural network visible. And then another term called data science. So you might be thinking, what is difference between machine learning and data science? So we'll talk about in next slide. And then another term comes in picture is deep learning, artificial neural network. We already talked about. Supervised and unsupervised learning is part of machine learning. So we'll talk about for these terminology in coming slides. There is a other buzzword also like semi-supervised learning, reinforcement learning, and knowledge graph, networking. It's a lot of things. So don't worry about that. You will learn over the period of time. It's very vast field that over the period of time you will learn slowly. Okay, so now what is machine learning? So you learn what is AI, you learn the history of AI, what is intelligence and use cases. Now, machine learning. So basically, machine learning is part of AI. We use machine learning to develop some kind of AI algorithm. So it's basically ability of computer to learn without being explicitly programmed. So machine learning compromise a large number of algorithms for different purposes. Machine learning often ties into their computational methods such as simulation. So, so, so we already talked about uh, different use cases, like for example, um, warranty fraud detection or credit card fraud detection. So how we can develop some kind of model that can automatically classify fraud versus not fraud, or classify the pictures correctly, or classify the image. Like for example, another very good example of machine learning is Facebook. On Facebook, you might have observed that sometime if you're watching means if you're seeing some picture, automatically suggest to tag your friends, and you just give your name in picture, you can see the name of yours. So basically Facebook is also using uh, face recognition system, AI and machine learning to do that. Okay. So machine learning is field of study that gives computer the ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. The definition given by Arthur Samuel in 1959. And mainly we use machine learning when we are developing some kind of mobile app or some website, means we need something to continuous run. And data science is when we our objective is to extract some meaningful insight from data that can help in your business. So let's understand from example. So like this is the data we have. Boston, this is a very famous data set, Boston house data set. It's available online. If you just search Boston data set, you will get. So it's kind of ABCD of machine learning. Whenever you are trying to become a data scientist, first people do some practice on these type of data initially to beat interviews. So like size of the house, you have one different variable: size of the house, number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, design, and then price. So again, it is A to B mapping, and you want to develop a mobile app, or you have a website where people can just enter what is your desire. They are looking 900 square feet apartment, they want 3 bedroom, they want 1 bathroom, and the design should be new. So what should be the price? So if you enter these three part, if you enter these three part, you will get this number from your mobile app. So this is machine learning. This is example of machine learning. When you are kind of developing some kind of software or some kind of mobile app to your to ease your job. Data science is basically to extract some meaningful information. So for example, home with 2 bedroom are more expensive than one, a new design home are 20% expensive than old one. So that kind of insight is comes under data science. Few applications of data science. So for example, in clinical trial, nowadays everywhere people are talking about when we will get the COVID vaccine. Pandemic is going on, so many people are suffering. All the big countries and big pharmaceutical organization are doing research. um, since I work in pharmaceutical organization, my initial 6 year, I worked in different clinical trial in different therapeutic area, including oncology, dermatology. So I have some background how it works and how they do the trial and how data science are helping them to get uh, results. So for example, if you are developing treat some medicine, and you have a treatment A and treatment B, and your objective is to compare which treatment is working fine, working better compared to other. So you will collect the data, and then you will apply some data science, some kind of hypothesis testing. So there is different tests in statistics like G test, T test, chi-square test. So these are different algorithm or methods in statistics that you will apply. Basically, you have to prove that um, your trial is statistically significant, and scientifically it is proven that treatment A is working better than treatment B. Then only your organization or your government authority is going to approve your drug. Another example is A/B testing. So A/B testing is kind of similar thing, but in different domains. So here also we are comparing A versus B, and here also A versus B. But here we are dealing with the treatment. Here we will be dealing with some kind of design. So for example, if you are designing some website, you have a design of website, and you want to make an different items on your website, and you want to measure which one are people are liking more. So like this is design one. For example, you consider this is design one. I'm sorry about my art. So this is suppose design one, and this is design two, and you want to check whether people are getting more interest, they are paying more attention on design one compared to design two. Then A/B testing comes in picture, and based on the experiment, you will change your website design over the period of time. So like for example, if you design a website and it looks wise very dirty, so people won't get interest, they won't prefer to come on your website. While if your website design is very very flashy and looking very beautiful, everyone will prefer to come. So here also data science comes in picture. So here it's one time job. Means you run some experiment over the period of time, maybe 1 month or 2 months, and you took a decision and then you change your website design. Another example is sample survey. Sample survey is basically collect the data from the people and then find out some insight. So for example, you are planning to launch any product, maybe some product for teenager. So first you will do some market survey. You will collect information. Okay, we already have uh, three similar kind of product available in the market. What people are thinking about those product, whether those product are very expensive or technically not, technology wise not very strong, or not available or not very feasible. So you will get some insight from the market, and also you will get insight where people are interested in more, in which particular location. You have to launch your product in a first in any specific city, specific country or not. So you will get some insight, and then based on that you will launch your new product. Or another example that recently I was working on one of my research paper is to analyze um, what people are thinking about autonomous vehicle. So which generation are giving more interest or showing more interest compared to other generation. So we collect data across us from the different state, and then analyze their behavior, whether people are willing to pay more, people are ready, uh, ready for new technology, people are willing for share drives or not. So we analyze all those information and then provide some result, and based on that even policy build. Okay, so third is the deep learning. Okay, so any problem that you can solve from machine learning or deep learning also. So deep learning is basically subfield of machine learning and concerned with algorithm inspired by structure or function of brain. So we call it brain, but actually in practical is no similarity. But when it started, everyone you start correlating. Okay, deep learning is very similar, like how our biological brain work. So here also same thing. So yeah, we already seen here that we were having the different variables and how we deal with the different variable, a to b mapping, develop a model. In deep learning also we will be having similar, like house size, number of rooms, number of bathroom. So this will be our first layer, and then we construct multiple hidden layers. Here I am showing only one, two. We may have a very long, or two, three, four, five different layers, and then you will get a output. So deep learning is very, very useful and very effective if you have a large amount of data, and especially in image classification, or in object detection, or in um, text mining, or in NLP. So many people, or majority of the people, we should say the majority of people are using deep learning. Like image classification, we can do simple machine learning, the tree based classification, or we can use the artificial neural network also to do the same job. Okay, so uh, what's time? I'm running very late. I'll be little fast. Okay, so what do you mean by learning? So, like, you heard about the word machine learning, deep learning, but what exactly is learning? So learning is basically, we have a data, we have a task, and from that data we will do some task, and then we will measure that our task was fine or not. That is basically machine learning. So it's a computer system, and will build a model and then measure our effectiveness of the model. So example is this data. We have the loan data, we have a pupil detail here, whether this person is young or old or middle age, he has job or not, he has house or not, what was his credit rating, and then whether his loan will approve or not approve. So we have to learn, means our algorithm will learn from this data, and then in future we will be having all those information except this loan. So our system, our algorithm will predict whether uh, we should approve loan for this guy or not. So fundamental assumption is generally the distribution of the training example is identical to the distribution including the future unseen. In practical, that is not the cases. So the fundamental idea is we should be having data with similar distribution, then only you will be able to build a robust model. An example, loan data we already talked about, predict whether the loan should be approved or not. So we have the data, we have task, and then we have to perform whether we need to check the accuracy, whether our model is doing good or not good. No learning means, suppose if we have, generally these kind of data will be highly imbalanced. We means around 90% case we will be having loan approved, and 10% cases we will be having not approved. And if we are not dealing with unbalanced data properly, then we may not get a good result. So it is not learning the model from the data. Instead, it will just memorize from your data. That is not a good data. You will learn more. Don't worry about that if you didn't understand properly. In coming session, we will talk more detail in depth what is balanced, unbalanced data, and um, uh, to deal with that, what kind of matrix we should be using. So machine learning also we can broadly we can classify in two way. One is the supervised, another is the unsupervised. So supervised, when we have A to B mapping, we have already label information for each task. We have some information available, so that is supervised learning. Unsupervised means we don't have B portion, we have only A, and algorithm will run automatically from the pattern of the data, and it will give you some insight. That comes under unsupervised. So few examples of supervised, it is again A to B mapping. Like for example, email. I'm sure that most of the people are using, we will be using email, spam versus not a spam, image, defect or not defect, credit card transaction. Okay, so I'm going to go. Okay, we'll finish it in by 5 minute, 5 to 10 minute max. Okay, so here, like if we have, you might have observed the Gmail. Gmail is automatically create separate category, like based on the content of email, that email should go in spam category or not spam category. So basically, Google has implemented a machine learning algorithm even in your Gmail also. Image is defected or not defected. Same example here. Credit card transaction is fraud or not fraud. That also algorithm will decide. So different examples that we can think of for supervised machine learning. Another example is the same credit card, little bit more detail, like age. You have a credit card company and thousands of application of the new card, and you want to develop some algorithm to decide whether credit card should approve or not. And you have information about the person age, marital status, annual salary, outstanding debts, and so on. And based on these data, your model will learn and predict. So what is our focus? So like human learning from past experience, computer does not have any experience, so computer learn from your data. So we should be, and the target is to learn from data and map with the dependent variable. Independent and dependent variable mapping should be our focus, and generally we call it supervised learning. can be a classification or regression. So mainly, okay, so supervised, I'm going little fast here now. Sorry guys, we already covered 1.5 hour. Okay, so supervised learning is again in two step. Learn a model using the training data and then test whether your model is working fine or not. So you have a training data, you build an algorithm, and then you model it, you test it, and check the accuracy. So generally, you divide your data in two parts. You have a whole data. You divide your data in training and test. There is no hard and fast rule that 75 versus 25. You can divide your data in 80-20 ratio, 90-10, 90-10 ratio, or 70-30 ratio also. But overall, you divide your data. You build your model on training data set, and then check your model on test data set whether your algorithm is working fine or not. And then after building your model, you have to check whether your model is working well or not. So there is one term called confusion matrix. So this is confusion matrix where you basically classify that this will be a true positive or false positive, and then you will decide, okay, when you are confident enough, then you will say that your model is working fine. Accuracy is basically number of correct classification divided by total number of test cases. So here the definition. And in next session, when we will talk in depth about the supervised learning, then we'll talk more about this um, formula, how it work, and how we should use and how we should understand. Types of machine learning classification. Types of supervised learning is classification and regression. So when we have two class of type like A and B, then we use classification. And when we have continuous type of data, like you want to predict a house price, then you will be using regression. Okay, so now quiz. Predict the gender of a person by his or her handwriting style. It should be classification or regression. I think this is second last, so don't worry about that. If anyone can answer. Hello, I'm audible. I can see that people are saying I'm not audible. Okay, can anyone say that I'm audible or not? I'm audible. Okay, better now. Okay, perfect. So these are just some quiz that you can think of. That predicting email is spam or not. Predict the number of copies of music album will be sold next month. Predict whether monsoon will be normal or not. So you have to decide whether this is a classification or regression. So here is the answer. Like first 3 and 5 comes under classification, and 2 and 4 comes under regression. Okay, well, I'm audible now, guys. Okay. Okay, few guys are able to hear, hopefully. Okay, perfect. So unsupervised, this is another example. So like in class C, in supervised learning, we had a label information. Here we don't have any label information. So objective of unsupervised learning is basically to look at the data and understand the pattern and then give some answer based on our interest. So like for here, example is mm, we were having a bunch of Mickey Mouse picture, and we want to separate it out based on their style. So like these three in one class, these are one another class, these are another class. So these comes under unsupervised learning. It is very common in market segmentation or cluster analysis to identify and identify clusters or group based on our interest. Okay, so these are the very common and very useful algorithm. We'll talk about more later on. Just to give a brief, like linear regression when we are dealing with continuous type of data, logistic regression when we have a dependent variable as a binary, like we have answer yes or no. Then we have tree-based algorithm, nearest neighbor, neural network, support vector. So different type of algorithm that you will learn over the period of time. So don't worry about much if you don't understand, and you can get some knowledge about that. And in next session, we will be covering the linear regression and uh, logistic regression and tree-based model. So in we will cover these three and this one also in our next lecture. So hope you guys are fine. So that's all I had today. I'm sorry the lecture is around 1.5 hours, but I hope you enjoy, you learn at least something, you uh, got a feedback, you got some idea about the AI, what is AI and how it works, why it is useful, why now it is useful. So all those detail you learn. Okay, guys. So thank you very much, and we'll discuss
Oh,
again. Hey, hi.
thank Thank you so much, Mr. Rajesh. I hope you guys learned a lot. You learned some really advanced things here. So these are like college level terms. You learned about regression. You learned about classification. You went deep, and thank you so much, Mr. Rajesh, for that class. Sorry, that was my brother. That was amazing. We're really grateful. I hope you guys were following. And I hope you're looking forward to the next classes because that's not the end of the road. So see you guys next week. Please make sure you subscribe wherever the button is to Katerina's YouTube channel so you get updates. Please tell Mr. Rajesh thank you in the comment section. It's not easy to do a class for over 90 minutes. It's a bit tiring, but he did it. He went through with it and he educated you guys. So please be around next week. Next week is going to be exciting. Next week we have even more classes. We're going to have web design, app development, Python, and emotional intelligence as usual. If you have questions, please send them to hello@corina.org. Send an email, especially relating to the classes that had a lot of network issues today, and you'll definitely get someone who will email you back. I hope you guys really did enjoy today's sessions. What homework? Thanks a lot, sir. Oh, I'm not sure if you guys have any homework or any assignments. Corina will probably answer you guys in the comment section. So if you do, then please make sure you do them once you find out what they are. So can we call it a day, guys? It's been a very long day. I'm sure we're all tired and we all need some rest. Okay, there's no scratch today, Chinedun. No scratch class today. Okay, so that's the assignment. Read about linear regression and decision trees against the next class. So it's on the screen right here. So please do that. Read about linear regression and decision trees. Where we upload the design thinking video. Okay, it should be on learn.codorina.net. I'm not very sure. But you will definitely get the video at Neo. Okay, bye everybody. See you. It's been a long day. Thank you guys. See you next week, Saturday. Enjoy your weekend.